Soon after Election Day, I traveled up to my hometown in northern Minnesota. Leaving the Twin Cities, the usual rural features were immediately accompanied by another distinction. This was Trump country. But things weren't looking good for the president. I wondered, where does this leave the members of Trump country? Yet the magnitude of this political allegiance, and the clash with that seen in the cities, inspired this realization. These flags aren't coming down. So, where does this leave America? Throughout the winter, I returned to interview two couples, whose homes continued to declare Trump 2020. I asked them their thoughts on America today, and how they feel they belong in their country.
I quit in 9th grade to go to work because I had a full-time job already. I actually got my first job when I was 12, cleaning paint pails.
Quick.
Yep, now we can let them out. I don't like the shop collar thing, but it keeps them from taking off out of the yard.
Or in the highway.
Would you two want to get a little bit closer?
Oh, no.
Do we have to?
We've been together for like 30 years. No, we don't want to.
Yeah. I'll sleep on the floor. I'm good with that. How's that?
Usually where you end up.
That's a good one, Jake. I've heard that before.
Do you think you exaggerated Trump's greatness?
Me?
Yeah, like,
No.
he can do this. He can drain the swamp.
I really
he's the
thought
one
he
who
could.
can. You what?
I really thought he could.
I feel like I've been augured. If that means anything to you. Like, we've been lied to, cheated.
It's hard to believe anymore.
Anything they say,
Yes.
it seems like.
Who's they? Just
The whole government, everybody, the media, whoever. Some days you get out of bed and you think, is our country being taken down from the inside?
Yeah.
you think it's
you
almost.
really have to ask yourself
You think
that.
it's almost being taken down strategically.
Yes. I mean, why would you not want to change the city of Chicago? How many black deaths? I mean, honestly, why would you not? Why would you fight him?
Because Trump would say a few things about cleaning up that city.
Mhm.
You're right, he did say
Yes.
things like that.
And I mean, why would you not want to better your country? That's what I don't understand. Why are people fighting so much to not make things better?
They never saw him as the guy to do it.
Honestly, probably not.
Like Abraham Lincoln said that the only way our country can fail is from the inside.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. That's what they're doing. That's their plan. That's the way I feel. They're going to end up getting rid of all the mom and pop shops. It's not going to be the American dream anymore because you won't be able to start your own business and move on because they'll have so many regulations. 20 years ago, we had way more small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
They slowly lose out because Walmart moves into... I mean, we haven't had a grocery store in town since, what, 2000?
Yeah.
2002?
Somewhere
And we
in that
always
area.
had one. The greatest thing. You go in there, smells like a butcher shop, old coolers. I mean, what the heck, you know?
Uh-huh.
No, we got nothing. We have to go to Walmart. We have to go to the Dollar General. They're everywhere.
The citizens of the United States are going to face some really hard times. And I think that we are going to see the beginning of losing our privileges, our way of life as we've known it for how many years.
Yeah, it's over.
You get up here in the northern part of the country, yes, people disagree about Biden, people disagree about Trump. But for the most part, your neighbor is your neighbor.
You know plenty of Democrats and Biden
Oh,
voters,
yeah.
and you're cordial and
A lot of
friendly,
them.
Yeah.
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 and they're
you don't-
friendly with you.
To
for
our
the
face,
most-
they are.
The most part, we had one incident with one person that,
One's
you know,
not bad.
yeah.
The one that went ballistics 4 years ago came and burned a Trump flag in my driveway on a hot summer windy day.
Yeah. It was
Somebody didn't like it. I just thought,
Yeah,
whatever.
it was very bad.
You'll grow up eventually.
I find fire and wind a very serious thing.
What's your intention with your hat, with your Trump flag on your building? What's your intention with all of that?
I'm going to go buy as many of them as I can, and I'm going to wear them till the day I die.
Or not.
I am too. The hell
Well,
I
you
ain't.
might, but
I already have about 5 hats. This is my work hat. I have my going out hats that are clean like his. that really say it with the big eagle on the visor and shit. Oh yeah, and I got new ones up in the shop, and I bet you I bought probably 50 Trump flags, honestly.
And disperse them, yeah.
Yep, and I give them to people that are, oh man, I want, hell yeah, you can have one, here you go. If I figure I got 10 years left, 2 hats a year, I need 20 hats. And probably 20 flags. Because I want everybody to know that I'm a real American, and he was the last real American president we had. I don't consider myself a Republican, or a Democrat, or a liberal, or a conservative. I just consider myself an American and want what's right for America.
Are you worried about being sticks in the mud and not moving on with the times? Trump loses, get over it, move on, don't wear your hat anymore. You sound like you want to take the sign down, after, assuming he doesn't pull out a miracle.
If he does not, I will take the sign down. There still is good in our country. It just isn't with the politicians anymore. It is not anybody that represents our country. I feel that the country is dying. It's over with.
Yes, they're going to tell us
they're going to end it. It's
what to do.
This is going to be a whole new, this is going to be a shock to many people. This whole new culture, everything's going to change. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Now, Rob, he still has hope.
Hopefully, these Republican senators will pull their heads out of their you-know-what here on January 6th, and they'll say, we're not accepting these results of this election. And if they did that, boom, our country's on a highway to greatness, or whatever you want to say.
Come on now.
No, I'm serious. Because then they will do something about all these rigged elections. You got nothing if you ain't got at least hope.
Yeah, goodness. Well, you got 5 kids, right?
Yeah.
Never a dull moment.
Ever. I always felt like our kids were treated, and my kids weren't the only ones, but they very much supported Trump, and they chose that on their own. And so they would go to school, they wanted Trump shirts, they talked about Trump, and they, you know, and maybe they were trying to take the teachers off, because we all know that can happen too. But I just really felt that they were always, no, you can't wear a Trump shirt to the band concert. No, you can't, you know, it's some of their freedoms. I was like,
Teachers or staff were saying this to your kids?
Yes. Yeah. So, and so I just look at that and say, that's not right either. So I wouldn't show up and tell my 3rd graders, well, he's not my president, because...
Oh, if Biden wins.
Right, because that happened to you.
She was totally honest, like, open about her viewpoint of Trump, so...
I didn't know my teacher's political or religious beliefs. I didn't know them. You didn't know unless you went to church with them or something like that. Then you knew what religion they were or whatever. But they never talked about politics.
You guys want to
Not like it.
Yeah,
The last few years.
We would have full days. We would have full days of just talking about how much she doesn't like Trump. She made you feel really stupid about liking him.
My kids will never have that teacher again. I'm not going to let them teach my kids propaganda.
You're also a teacher in this school.
I am a 3rd grade teacher in Black Duck School, and I have pulled all 4 of my children out of Black Duck School because I don't agree with the mass. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's all conspiracy. Is it conspiracy or is it information warfare? And that just goes with getting a second opinion. I mean, Luke would have had to have a surgery if I went and got a second opinion for him. So second opinions are important. And so I look at that as well as when I'm taking my information in, I'm not going to just listen to Dr. Fauci.
How do you see Trump, your support for him blending in with all this? Like, do you see him as on your side with all these issues, basically?
Trump's not for himself. He's for you and I. He's for our kids.
He was able to improve the economy to the point where we had extra money. So as Trump was in office, we were given more opportunities, and we felt that. We felt that as a family, we felt that as farmers, we felt that in our jobs. And so by hanging those signs out there, we're saying we found success under this man, where we didn't find that under Obama, Bush.
We got to go back to teaching our kids to love America, not hating America.
So that's something you must really appreciate about Trump.
Yeah, that's awesome, because what I'm what I've been reading in some of the kids' books, it's terrible. They talk about China, you know, China's so good. China's terrible.
The other part
Look
of
what
that,
they do to their people.
to add off of what he's saying, so we got a new reading curriculum. Every other story is about China.
Do you think Trump is the one hope as far as a president or a big politician goes?
Yep. I think anything, he brought more people in.
I mean, look at his rallies. Our kids gotta go to his rally. Levi went to the rally. Johanna went to the rally.
Yeah,
We cheered like he was a superstar. We were so excited to have Trump close. But you know, like I talked about the president coming, no other teacher talked about the president coming. And he was 30 minutes. I don't care.
And that's
He's
a
the
big
president
event.
of the United States that came
That's
to our
huge.
area.
Bemidji.
Bemidji had teachers sending them to go and protest at Target. He's, oh, you don't have to come to class, go to Target and protest. You know, so
How does that make you feel?
pisses me off.
But Midgey's a small city, and even they are anti-Trump. It's
Yeah.
not just the big cities.
Right, right. But actually, going by county, the vote, Beltrami County, which is a lot of Bemidji, voted for Trump. So, I mean, we had, what, 13 counties in the state of Minnesota that went for Biden.
I want to make sure that he got in there legally. You can't have 200% voter turnout.
Right.
And you're not gonna silence 70 million people.
Nationwide, there's millions of Americans that are probably prepared, and they will fight for the country.
You said Trump said it best. What were you saying?
He said it would be better to live one day as a lion rather than 100 years as a sheep. And I'd go down as a lion because I'm not going to be a sheep. And I think part of being a sheep is wearing a mask.
We the people decide when this mask mandate's over. We the people decide when these businesses open up.
I think a lot of patriots, conservatives, they've just sat back in the shadows, just seeing all the corruption. They just kept taking it. Well, we're going to hit a point where we're not going to take it anymore. We're done.
Like, let's say Trump isn't able to secure the re-election by January 20th, and Biden has the ceremony for being sworn in. What are your plans with your Trump 2020 sign?
I'm going to keep them up. I see it as supporting a country, our nation. He said never give up, never, ever, 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 ever give up, and I'm not giving up. He brings me peace, and he brings me hope for this country, hope for my kids, their kids to come.
We picked a life that we can be fruitful, be prosperous, and we go down to the cities, and we get our shoulder. You can tell it in our shoulders. You can tell it in our whole demeanor that it's just a faster pace. Up here is a slower pace where we can sit down and relax and find God while we're driving the tractor and cutting hay. And we
work
do.
hard and we have fun working.
How do you approach the near future as this election is contested and so far it hasn't gone Trump's way?
It will.
We truly believe it will.
It will.
Do you believe it will? Like it's inevitable that it will?
Yes.
As long as they go with the Constitution, follow our Constitution, he'll get in hands down.
So you believe he will?
Yep.
100%.
Yep. 100%.
This is an NBC News special report.
And breaking news tonight, the deadly siege on Congress as an angry pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol.
A mob supporting and encouraged by President Trump.
Rushing past barricades and police up the Capitol steps.
With shots fired inside as lawmakers were gathered to count the votes, confirming President-elect Biden won the election.
This unrest breaking out just after President Trump spoke at a rally near the White House.
I watched his speech, and he was not instigating a riot like they said. He said it to be a peaceful protest, to walk down there, you know, and not to. We don't want no problems. We don't want no trouble.
Yeah, but they also had Trump on video wanting all these people to come to Washington, D.C.
Yep.
And telling them fight, fight, fight. And
really,
yes,
he would fight for what's right. Is I think what he meant.
I know,
he wasn't saying to come out there and start beating people up or raising.
is not
because he said a peaceful protest and a walk to the Capitol. They just get too butthurt.
I think it's just been an issue all along.
Just let her go through, you know. And that's how the Republicans are. They got no spines, no balls. They just roll over and let them do what they want, you know. That's how it's been for years. So that's my thoughts on it. That's what I thought happened, you know. I mean, there's, we'll just let it be. It's better for the country if we just let them idiots run it for a few years, you know. That's the way I see it. Now they're censoring our First Amendment, and then the next it's going to be our second. They're just going to, they want the power, you know. They're going to control our whole country.
How do you react to all that? The fact that they seem to be winning.
I mean, I have stepped back from the news this past week. I have not been listening. I have not been watching. I deleted my whole Facebook. I just deleted the whole app right off my phone, closed it out, got rid of it. All the comments that you hear from people, very belittling to Trump supporters, very, I mean, you're talking profanity, you're talking just putting people down, and you're thinking, this is my friend?
I'm still hoping for the best. I just know it's not going to be the next 2 years. And I got a feeling that after these Democrats that voted for Biden, they're all going to see that, wow, we're kind of screwed here. We're paying over $3 a gallon for gas or whatever. You know, it's all, and they're all going to see their 401ks, you know.
Trump is erratic, you know, high emotion, and say outlandish things, and causing people to go lose their minds. And we had the riots this summer and just all this stuff. Now Biden is pretty darn boring, relatively, and he'll probably bring a sense of normalcy. Does that at all comfort you?
He's not going to bring no normalcy. The left might think that. I don't think they think that they were saving the country. They were saving their plan.
I think a lot of people who voted for Biden think the country has been saved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe they do, but those are ill-informed people then.
No, I think people are looking for peace. They just want some peace.
Yeah, they want
This has been 4 years of upheaval. It's just been constant, and people are so tired of it. They just want peace.
Do you feel less proud of your country now that you know Biden's going to go in there and things are going to proceed like that?
Well, I do, because why do we have rules and laws if nobody's going to obey them? That's all that did was tell everybody, hey, do whatever you want. Just make sure you're wearing a Biden-Harris shirt. Kamala Harris is the one that was putting up bail money for these rioters in the cities. I mean, come on, really? And now you're vice president? And I've been on the street since I was 13, so I kind of know the street thing too, you know? I mean, I changed my ways when I got up here, but yeah, so I mean, to me, it's a joke. I'll just be pissed off every time I buy gas, cigarettes, or buy anything, you know, because of the prices. I'm not too worried about it. I'm more worried about it for my kids than I am for me, because I ain't gonna be here much longer anyway. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm a 13-year-old dropout, basically.
Well, if things don't go...
It's an awesome country. Look what I got now. I go from sleeping in the back of a station wagon car to having... Well, it's not even my house because Wells Fargo owns it, so I guess I can't even call it my place, can I?
Becky, are you less proud to say you're an American today?
No. I'll always be proud to be an American. I always will be proud. I was raised that way to be.
What are you going to do with all your Trump gear?
It's all going to hang until it's so faded you can't read it no more. And I'll keep wearing the hats and everything else until they're wore out and gone. Because I don't think it's over yet. He said it wasn't over yet. It's just beginning. So, see what he meant by that.
What about if he doesn't run in 4 years and there's a new Republican?
Big deal. His daughter will. I'd like to see.
But what if there's a new Republican who runs? Are you going to get their hats, or is Trump there for?
No, probably not. Because I'm not into politics until
yes,
Trump. I am now, though. I didn't get into politics until Trump was running against Hillary, and I seen all the bull crap on her.
Yeah.
And all the people she's killed and stuff. Nah. So I'm gonna get on this guy's team and see what It is, and
But
I liked it.
not on the next Republicans team?
Probably not. Not unless he's just like Donald Trump.
I feel like I'm somewhat at the same spot, 100%. Still for Trump, still feeling there's something still going on in the background. This is, you feel like you're living in like a
movie.
Yeah, like
Seems
a
like it's a
movie,
movie.
La La Land. Like, is anyone else seeing any of this going on? But I think I've grown more in my faith over these last few weeks, months.
I feel like I'm sitting here idle, and I don't want to see the country fail. We got to wake up.
So
And we the
You
people
see it
have
in
to
the
stand
faith
up.
too. You see it in the Catholic Church what's happening as well. We come from a family where every Sunday you go to church. Like that was pounded into our head, which isn't a bad thing. And so we're starting to question that, like, is this the right place? Especially with everything that you can see in the news with, the sex and human trafficking, the Vatican, what the Pope is saying, what the bishops are saying. And then you start questioning, have we been lied to all of our life?
by whom?
By everyone.
About what?
About religion, about everything. I mean, you question everything. This morning, my mom was like, she's crying and she goes, I just don't, we go to church and now, we're questioning if that's the place we're supposed to be.
We sit in the back of church with a group of people that don't wear masks. We're the non-maskers, and then you got the people, up in the church wearing masks.
Are we all crazy? Like everybody else is like following the masses, getting the vaccine, you put the mask on. Like, what is wrong with us that we don't believe in any of this? But then what I notice is, what people do? They stay busy. They stay busy and they distract themselves. And so everyone's distracted. We got to get our kids back to sports. Even if you have to put a face mask on and run those kids and you don't even know the effects of those masks. And so you start looking around like, this is the way they got to the point that they got. I look at it as there's so many different pillars that they control us with. So Walt said that we had to wear a mask and a shield, okay? The mask makes me sick. It literally makes me sick. It gives me anxiety, whatever. So I went to the doctor in hopes that she'd just write me a note to only wear a mask or to only wear a shield. Nope, we can't do that. So right there, I said, well, you're not listening to me. I'm telling you, it makes me sick. I'm telling you what physically is happening to me. Nope. If my doctor can't even help me and I'm there telling them how that is affecting my body, then obviously I can't trust them anymore. Then I can't trust them.
Healthcare, your religion,
Right?
these are major pillars,
Yep.
institutions.
It's all pillars.
And you see them cracking,
Yep.
or there's something going on.
Yep.
How do you respond to that?
I just
Keep the faith.
keep the faith. I
Where do you
keep
turn?
educating myself. I keep educating.
What good is that if you don't have a church that you believe in anymore, or if you don't have...
Do I need a church? I don't know. We still are talking about it, looking at it, but
Or
we
that
have
church.
to make that decision as a husband and wife for our children.
What are those flags out there? Given everything you've talked about, yeah.
They're not coming down. For me, it represents not only freedom and fighting for our country, it kind of represents the people that have fought for our country, have died for our country, men and women. If we give it all up, then all their lives have been lost in vain.
Trump did amazing things for our country, and so those flags to me represent like in your face, like this person did an amazing job. This person was for America, and I guess the same thing that happens when I go out and about without a mask. I connect with those people that don't have masks on. And like I told the clerk, when I was at a gas station, I said, I really enjoy seeing your face. And she was a little taken back. She goes, well, normally if I'm working, I have to wear a mask. And I said, well, I'm just telling you that I enjoy seeing your face.
I was gassing up my work vehicle the other day, and a guy, older gentleman, he got out, and he had a Trump hat on. I said, boy, I sure like your hat. He said, it ain't over yet. I said, you're right, it ain't over. So I mean, there's more people out there, you know, that are like-minded
Oh, yeah.
too.
Does that encourage you to keep your flag up then?
Right, yeah. As soon as the ground thaws out, we're going to hang up our American flag, and then the Trump flag's going to be flying below it. We're in an awesome country. I mean, America has given us all, and I think we've just taken it for granted. I think the best is yet to come.
And then he keeps saying that. And then...
For what? For you
for
as a
America.
family? For America?
Yep. I think this will all eventually get exposed, and everybody will start to wake up.
I'm not sure how you can have hope, seeing all that you see.
Well, then that's
Faith.
where your faith comes in, that divine intervention, that there will be a divine intervention.
And that divine intervention will save the country.
Mm-hmm. Everything that he said he was going to do, he did. And
Trump.
what has he preached? The best is yet to come.
Trump's not a loser. Never been a loser, so he's always been a winner.
And of course, we don't listen to mainstream media to tell us anything different.
So you see those flags up for a long time?
Yep. For a long time.
Well,
We'll probably get some more.
I was going to say.
I'll have to put a new one up, because if it gets torn up too much, I'll put up another one. But
There's still hope.
You don't see no Biden signs anywhere, but you see Trump flags everywhere. I mean, yeah, so he's not in the White House right now, but he is gonna go out and do his best to let the rest of the American people know that everything they're doing to us right now is not right. You know, it's like, not good. I don't want to be paying $6 for a gallon of gas and $5 for a gallon of milk. You know, it's
Yeah.
and you can see it's coming.
We're everyday citizens, and we're just going to keep going on with our life. But we're also going to hold faith that in 2 or 4 years, something will change. And if it doesn't, you know, what do? You keep going. That's all you can do.